Hello everybody, Brad the Guitologist here. Enjoy the video.
Oh, this is
this one, yeah, I wanted to see this one too.
Yeah,
that was a huge
that was like my
second.
second guitar, I think.
Was this like something out of a tree that fell down in the backyard, or?
Well, I had seen a guitar. I don't remember who it was. A guy had done something where he put the controls on the I and everything. It had finish problems.
Oh, you got dust.
Oh yeah, it just hangs. It doesn't move. So I wanted to build something similar to that, and so that's the shape that I came up with, and I sculpted it and everything. And we had issues a long time ago, and it's because it was just sort of a fun thing. We never actually.
It looks like a sleeping
Went
dragon.
back to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Just I mean, you can already see the spark of innovation. You know, wanting to move away from the blasé.
Yeah.
You know, early on.
Yeah, I mean that's it is what it is. People obviously can play those sort of things, but some people want something different. So,
Right.
That's the first. Wow. Yeah.
Here you go.
I don't usually show it to many people, so
So now you're showing it to about 100,000.
Exactly.
No.
Sadly.
1 million people.
But
It was actually a butcher block cutting board.
yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, it's hideous.
Was this also a piece of the butcher block, or was that a
This was since it was my first guitar, this was a blank, like a neck blank, and I didn't actually make the neck. I made the body. I was 13. I didn't know how to build one, so they came with like a paddle headstock, and you can cut out whatever shape you wanted.
okay. So it was
then
one
I
of the
just
big
cut out that shape. Yeah.
blanks? Okay, gotcha.
So
And we had to put tuners, so we had to get banjo tuners.
Yeah.
Such a weird shape.
yeah, I think these are actually off of like a Firebird.
Firebird,
Or whatever. Yeah,
probably,
because it's just straight out the back.
Right.
So I was just like, sorry. But yeah, I was like, I don't know how you. I didn't know. I wasn't really thinking
know
about.
anything.
You got to put them there. So I was like,
anything.
this is the shape I made.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, how are you going to tune it? I don't know. So yeah.
Speaking of tuners and odd tuners, have you ever seen Portuguese guitars with the tuning comb at the top?
Yeah,
And
actually,
it's got the little.
I wanted he does this. I wanted to get one of those and actually or try something like that because I actually think those are beautiful.
I've played one and
Yeah.
I've messed around with one in a pawn shop. They had one in a pawn shop, and that was the first time because I'd seen them before too.
Yeah.
And I'd always wanted to get my hands on one. I finally got my hands on one. It's the coolest way to tune a guitar I think I've ever seen. It's just and really fine tuning as well.
Yeah.
And it just.
I had I'm always into like different tuning mechanisms, and I like headless things and all that stuff. And that's like it's essentially headless. They don't have all that mass at the end of the neck. So
Right,
it's
it's
that's so cool. So I wanted one. I never pursued it.
Yeah. Well, you should definitely check one out sometime.
Yeah.
As far if you
I don't
want
know
inspiration.
where I would see one
Yeah.
in person, but I'd love to actually be able to play it or something.
I wish I'd bought that one now because it wasn't that expensive. It was in a pawn shop, and I was like, hey, what's that? And like, can I see that? And I stood there for probably half an hour or 45 minutes just looking at this thing and like playing around with the tuning mechanism.
Yeah.
The tuning mechanism was the main thing.
Where'd you see it?
There's a pawn shop called Goldman's Pawn Shop in Evansville, Indiana.
Just seems like the type of thing that you wouldn't see.
You'd never see
locally.
Yeah,
It's like one of those things you'll see online. Some place has it, but
Right.
not
and
where
how
you
it
are.
got in that pawn shop. You
Yeah.
gotta wonder what the story was. It's like
Yeah.
I love any stringed instrument. So to me, it's like I'd love to have like a sitar, and I want a banjo and all kind. I just want to have them around me and stuff. So like that would be awesome to have.
I've always gravitated toward just unusual stuff. If I'm gonna take the time to record something, especially like if I write a song and I want to record it, I want to have a lot of stuff around. Like so, if I think, oh man, this would sound good with a sitar on the background or something, like just a little thing in this one part, I want that there so I can do that one little thing,
Yeah.
So
Plus, it's just cool to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they look good in the meantime.
Yeah. Yeah, a friend of mine, that I built the bass harp for, he does a lot of like soundscape sort of synth stuff, and so he that's what he uses his bass harp for.
The Japanese guy?
No, this is a different guy.
Oh, right.
I built and it has a rolling synth, so you can make it sound like a piano or a flute or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
So he does that.
Those are fun.
He does a lot of experimenting with sounds like that off of that instrument. So.
Yeah, there's been a few, just a very few guitars that I thought, if this really took off, it would be a game changer.
Yeah.
Like one of the sales reps when I was managed a music store brought in the Moog guitar, and it just had just all this weird
Yeah,
ass
yeah.
Moog electronics built into it, and
Yeah,
it
he's
did all this crazy stuff. Like
he's one of the guys. He's the dude who first came up with like the optical pickups and stuff like that, right? Because it was him.
probably
Wasn't he one of the first
it
dudes?
sounds like something he would have come up with, but like he built theremins,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that early on.
Yeah.
And then moved on to synths and had all
Yeah.
the synth sounds and a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
love all
Floyd
that
albums and things, from
Yeah.
the '70s and ELO records and all the greatest records ever made.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. There you go. Nice back to reality.
and now does like more refined versions of theremins and
Yeah.
things like that too.
Well,
Pedals and
I think he was the guy who sort of pioneered. I'm probably getting this wrong, but optical pickups, which I've always thought was really cool. So it shoots a infrared light at the string.
at the string
And
yeah.
so
Wow.
there's like a company, Lightwave or whatever, that does that.
Mhm.
But I've always wanted to play around with them. But you can't there's nobody that builds them that I could just put one on a guitar and start
Isn't
playing.
it awesome though, like how the human mind works? Is because as soon as you said optical pickups, my mind flashes like, yeah, you could do that. You
Yeah.
could do, and I'm thinking like you could shoot a laser at the pickup
Yeah.
and measure the
Yeah. Well,
and
the
you
thing
could
was
translate it into a digital signal. And then,
Yeah. The thing with the
Weird.
optical pickups is, you could use you could use yarn or something. Any string you could actually use
Yeah,
as your
it
strings. It
doesn't
doesn't have to be
matter what the string
ferromagnetic.
you
Like here, obviously they have to be metal. You can
Right.
use nylon strings if you wanted, which that's just neat to me.
That is neat.
But just not really anybody doing it. So
Yeah.
not that you could buy, but I think he was one of those guys that was doing it early on, and then I guess maybe.
Well,
Never
with
pushed it
anything
enough.
innovative,
Yeah.
anything like strange, you have to get past the point where it's it's economically feasible. You have to turn enough people on to whatever it is you're trying to do and inspire enough people to get into it early. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of it's more about being an ambassador
Mhm.
to your vision.
Right.
That,
That's part of the thing. It's like we need to find some players that can really show that they can sound great on,
Yeah.
on a stage somewhere. If we get enough people to put it out there, then that'll maybe
Yeah.
that'll turn people on to different shapes, things like that.
Well, I think you've got the shapes thing down for sure, and I think with some of your later refinements, some of the like this, I see no reason why this model shouldn't sell anywhere in the country.
I love that.
Well, yeah, and like that one and the Aria shape and stuff. We think
Yeah.
those will probably be our most popular.
Yeah.
So of the 3 or 4 that we're really going to try to push, where we could sell production models and stuff, it's going to be Aria and Sophia.
Right.
I'd like to do Isabel. And
That would probably be the
something
more
else.
radical of the three, and
Yeah. Well,
but that's the one though that you have to have for the awe factor.
Yeah.
That's gonna it draws people in. It's
Yeah,
gonna-
yeah. There's several that I've built that were just, I built them because I thought, well, people will think this is crazy, and then they'll see that I'm making things and I can make weird stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, some of the things I do to show that I can do them and that they're, get people thinking outside of the box. So,
Right.
and it gets attention for the brand. So
And we had people that came in our booth at NAMM thanking us for making something that didn't look like everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like I
I
said, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like there's enough of that out there, So
Right.
I don't need to make it. There's enough guys who will build, Tellies and Strats and stuff.
I think that's the thing that I think you kind of got caught an undercurrent of that expressing itself whenever you got the John Mayer signature from Paul Reed Smith, because it's like you seriously made a Strat copy.
It's a
Is
Strat
that
with
the
a
one
pipe.
you're talking about?
I hate
Yeah,
that
it's
guy.
like, dude, it's not
a
that
lot of people like it or whatever, but I guess, but
it's probably
it's
a great
Strat
guitar as far as
with the
picking up and
PRS
playing it.
headstock, which
Yeah.
just looks wrong.
Yeah.
It's not even the way it looks to me. It's just the fact that it's like you could have done anything in the world.
Yeah.
You own this shop. You got this vision. You go on stages like TED Talks talking about
Yeah.
perfect guitars, and you go back and you build a Strat. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, we talked about this. I said I wouldn't do that.
yeah,
Don't matter what you pay.
No,
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
we don't
Want
go
to.
copies. Yeah.
it's just not worth. It's just not
I
worth
see,
it.
there's a lot of guys that eventually sort of go into that. There's enough people doing it, and then I'm like, why would I try to out Gibson? They're
yeah.
building it. They've been doing it a long time. I'm not going to build a better Les Paul than them, probably. I don't know. But
Well, you might now, but
Well, yeah. but but the kind of thing that I feel like a boutique builder can do that they can't just move quickly into other directions. So, they can't. It's like turn into a big behemoth of a company
it's
that
a
can't
huge
go that route if they
because
wanted
people
to.
it backfires on them, and
Yeah.
anytime, and that's what messes with my mind about, because I've always defended them on a lot of the innovation stuff, like on a lot of the '70s little innovations that they did, like the tuners that popped out, and you had the built-in tuning winder and things like. You never saw those? Oh, those are on like some of the late '70s customs. On the end of the tuner, there's a little piece of metal that pops out and becomes a string winder built in.
That's pretty cool.
So I mean that was an innovation.
They caught crap for that.
I don't think they caught crap for that one, but that was one of the innovations of like the Norlin era, and like some of the other models that they were doing during the Norlin era that weren't your Les Pauls or your, the everyday models that they were doing. But they did catch crap for some of those, and people kind of whatever,
Well,
and
I always thought that was weird because like guitar players, it seems like a lot of them come into it from like rock and roll and punk and stuff like that, which is so like countercultural. But then when they get into it, they all fall in line,
just like their hero.
It's got to be a Strat or a Les Paul or something. I remember I was looking on a forum and a thread was discussing one of our guitars, and there was a guy talking about it. And he was like, "Come on, it's like you got a Strat or a Les Paul. It's like just pick one already." And I was like, "What, really?
Yeah.
Like you have to fall into one of these two." That just seemed like such a crazy thought to me. I was like,
well, you got the Randy Rhoads shape behind you, that Jackson, right? That would have been, crazy, and that's completely crazy in its day.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't even sit down and play with it.
I was never a big Flying V.
I bought it
just
for
that
parts,
reason,
and then I couldn't make myself do anything with it, so it hangs.
Yeah,
but it's a stupid thing. You can't sit down with it.
You can't. That was my first. One of my first electric guitars was a Rhodes.
Oh, was it?
Shape. Charvel, it's awfulest sounding thing ever. This was low end, real low end. It had single coil pickups, of all things you could put on a Charvel, you know what I mean, or Rhodes. But you just couldn't sit down and like if you try to plug it in, it's like the plug's right there where your feet, your knee needs to be.
My first was an ESP, and then that was actually my second guitar there, the Beast.
Yeah.
That's because I was into metal and everything, so I was like, it's got to be crazy and pointy.
So would you attribute maybe that to being some of your inspiration then?
Probably,
like having just the crazy shape affinity.
Yeah, that was another experiment there.
He hates that. I wound single string pickups so that I could, and then I ran to digital switch and stuff. So it's not a finished thing.
Yeah.
But I made it
experiment.
So I wanted to be able to pass it to its own output, so you could actually go through a different amp, and like you could have like. The top
low
two strings or something
go
to a more distorted sound, and then the higher strings could be cleaner and brighter and stuff. So I was like, well, how do you do that without a pickup that you could isolate strings?
Yeah.
And a lot of people have done things like that, but that was just sort of my playing around with it.
Now
it worked, so that's good.
Did you ever see the? What was that? It was it a Kramer? No, it wasn't a Kramer. And it wasn't a. Anyway, it was a bass guitar, and it was a rail, and it had the pickup on two metal rails, and the pickup just moved, it slid. And it seems to me that this is almost perfect. This design would be perfect for that, like to have two rails here and have your pickup on a rail, so you don't even select pickups. You just tap your pickup.
Wow.
Here or there.
That's one that I plan on doing on mounting to the neck.
Yeah.
When I was making that, I was like, I have to have some sort of means of suspending magnetics, and the two methods that I came up with were, one is doing like an acrylic sheet like that, so that was the first one.
Yeah.
The second one that I want to do is actually have like an extrusion piece that comes out of the neck that mounts on there, and then you can have the pickup that you can position.
Yeah, or even swivel like some of the what's that? Oh gosh, what's that one brand that does that? It's just it's basically like on a little turntable.
Yeah, well they had the I think Spalt's the guy who did that one where it's a wiper. It's like the V wiper or something. It's a long pickup that's just like mounted on a little swivel at the bottom, and you could actually like turn it like that.
Yeah.
Because all that changes the sound.
It totally changes.
So, yeah. Of course, you have to. If you're gonna do that, you have to do like rails, and that's the only way.
And that's the other place where I saw. That's another thing I saw at Goldman's Pawn Shop. I walked in and he had one of those. It's like a Steinberger kind of shaped body. But it has a solid tail down here where it plugs in, and then it has a solid piece up here. But in between is two rails, and the whole pickup mechanism just slides on these two rails.
See, I've never seen one in person, but those are cool. And they actually have a lot of times they have like the volume control stuff on that little central.
That's right. It is all on that. Yeah. So you don't plug in back here. You plug in on that central piece, I think. Even.
Yeah, or something. I know that at least some of the controls are on that.
It's the controls that. Yeah, you're right. It's just the controls that are on it, and then you do plug in back here. So yeah. But you see what you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I like that thing. All those things, I'm like, when I see stuff like that.
Okay, I guess we're good. I hope that's filming. Gosh, I'm so something.
It says record.
Yeah, it is recording. So.
Yeah, it's when I see that sort of stuff, I'm always like, yeah, I gotta try something like that.
Yeah.
So and then he has to tell me not to try it.
Yeah.
Trying to rein him back in a little bit.
Well, it's okay. Raining him is but the hurdy-gurdy, man. Just
Yeah. I'm gonna build a hurdy-gurdy.
Build
one
one
day.
for real. Hey, I want to come film you in various stages, like building your hurdy-gurdy.
I wanted one for so long that you know, like a while back, I think they kickstarted like a laser cut, where it's just like flat laser cut pieces that they put together, but it's a hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah.
And I was like, and obviously it wouldn't be like anything like
a kit,
a real one, but yeah, like basically it's laser cut pieces that you would assemble, and when you're done, you have a hurdy-gurdy.
Oh, that's cool.
I almost got it because I was just so I could at least see one way that it can work, and then I could build a more refined version of it.
It just seems like you could turn like a viola or something into one, almost.
Yeah.
Like you convert a viola. That was kind of my thought. Like
of course, if I did it, I'd want to make my own version of it.
Well,
So
you've got the skill for that,
shape
obviously,
and
the tools and stuff. But I mean, for me, it's like me thinking about, okay, how could I make a hurdy-gurdy or something, something like that. It's like, oh, you want to convert a violin or a viola or something,
Yeah.
Well, let's see your shop, if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool. Well, that was one of the things too that impressed me. When I walked into the print shop, it's like you didn't just have regular cards like everyone else, like a little business card. You had actually, it was cut in the shape of your guitar.
Yeah.
So
you work at a print shop. You can make fancy cards.
you can make
Yeah, why not?
might as well. So is that your only day job, or do you?
That's my I work full time there.
Yeah.
And then this is what I do all the other times.
No other artistic pursuit on the side or anything?
Not official.
Yeah.
I'm always liking to make things and design stuff.
So I take it you guys are a
But
part.
the only thing,
you're a partnership in this.
Yeah.
So how does that work out as far as father-son kind of arguments, or because you got the business thing, but he's also obviously you defer to him on some things.
Well,
I'm sure
we work pretty well together.
Yeah.
We both have a passion for it, I would think.
Yeah.
So it like watching you guys talk about it, we get to talking about it like that too. It's fascinating. I love all that stuff.
Yeah. He's I like going off the rails and doing weird stuff, and he's real methodical about stuff. So we actually work really well.
Yeah.
Kind of strengthen each other. So
you're the artistic kind of out here inspiration.
Yeah.
You're the guy who drags it back in and says,
Well,
okay, we've got to do this.
Well, and some of it is that he has the creative eye, or the like when we go to do colors and stuff. I can look at it and go, that don't look right, but I don't know what it needs. He knows exactly what it needs, and he's a genius. Does a good job.
Yeah.
So he's the architect and you're the engineer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's good.
Well, was there anything else? I think we've got.
Yeah,
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah.
So I noticed you're doing these are the Maries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed you're doing a couple of Maries. Are these orders, or are these?
This is an order, and then these are going to be the sort of initial production run of them. So those will be like they'll be my first production run of those, and then I'll tweak them and stuff from there.
Right.
But this is actually a 9-string I'm building for a guy right now. He played at NAMM my 8-string and liked it and asked if I could build it in a 9. I was like, well, yeah. So we planned out a build, and then this is what it is right now so far.
Super cool. So are these necks ready to go for?
They are. These are necks for the other horsemen more for the most part.
Oh, okay.
So they've been fitted to the bodies, and I've already done a lot of the artwork on the bodies, but they're not actually here. But so these are the necks for those. They just are sitting until I get done with that. There's actually a 5th one because I'm going to do one that won't be released.
Okay.
So, I'm going to do all this. I'm doing all this artwork. I'm putting a lot of time into it and everying. And I was like, well, it's like then they'll go away and I'll never see them again.
Never see them.
So I was like, if I'm going to do that,
Your babies have to go into the world.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll do one more. So I'm doing the 4 Horsemen, and then I'm going to do the Angel of Death. That's a 5th one that will just sort of always be with us. So
Right.